Morning Hookup on KFOR.
Blinded by the lights, wrapped up like a douche, another runner in the night. Blinded by the lights, wrapped up like a douche, another runner in the night. Blinded by the lights.
Good morning, Lincoln, Nebraska. Happy Victory Wednesday. Welcome to Morning Hookup. Phillips, Elijah, Caleb in the house again. Everybody shows up for Victory Days. We've got a lot to get to. We're going to get to that. All of the Big Ten happenings yesterday in baseball. Conference finals started, the Western Conference finals. It's a perfect day to talk hoops. Henry T., Husker legend, in the house. His Pacers are there in the Eastern Conference finals.
Also, I see the NFL rules the roost right now, and there was a proposal that was shot down this morning.
Yeah, I saw that.
Interesting.
We'll talk NFL as well, because they're also that proposal, and I think the other one that everybody is so adamant about talking about. The Packers have been front and center. Tush push. Talk about that. There's supposed to be a vote today. I was a little worried this morning about you.
About me?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm just wondering. First of all, were you on the? Were you producing the dogs last night?
I was not.
You were not. My goodness. What a melee of runs. Coach Jody had to be like had to be crawling last night.
Well, they did. That was for all the fifth graders.
I know.
That was
but that was probably good for them. But my goodness, what an offensive explosion. And the dogs yesterday afternoon. My God, what was that? 16 to what was it?
I'll pull it up here.
The final. I saw it. I think I got it right here. It's like 16 to 12 in front of a single season attendance high so far. Obviously, LPS kids. They 5,287 people, mainly kids. 16 to 12.
That doesn't compare. Last Friday night.
My gosh, they look at this. 16 runs. This is Kansas. 16 runs, 15 hits, no errors, 5 home runs. Lincoln, 12 runs, 15 hits, no errors. They hit 3 bombs.
There's been a lot of runs. Okay, I'll take you back. I thought was it Friday? It was last Friday. I was correct here. Last Friday in the American Association, you had a high-ish scoring Salt Dogs game, 9-7. But then the Sioux Falls Canaries beat the Chicago Dogs 22-0. The Cleburne Railroaders beat Gary South Shore 20-7. That was all in one night. And then you had Milwaukee won 11-4. There's a whole bunch of runs early in the American Association season this year. The bats have been better than the pitching, and that makes for good baseball for. If you're going out to Haymarket Park to catch a game.
Oh, so you're telling me that the Rockies could be in the American League Association?
Didn't
they lose 21-3? Wasn't that a score they lost?
To the Padres.
Yeah.
They wouldn't. The Rockies wouldn't do very well
if they fit in well. Like, where would they be ranked, right?
Bottom.
Yeah. No, I was thinking about it because I thought maybe you were on that last night. And then what? I mean, you're young enough. Chili dogs at 11? Come on, bro.
Okay.
I do that. I look at that, and I got problems the entire next morning. Maybe I'd probably be waking up. I will give you this. That thing looked really good.
I woke up feeling pretty elite, honestly.
I mean, I just wanted to, like,
Caleb,
I saw your post.
I'm in here no caffeine, which is rare for me.
What is your problem?
I'm feeling that good today. It brought me the energy I needed on a Wednesday morning.
So you're feeling dangerous.
More ways than one.
No. By the way,
I had leftover
no side
chili.
movements.
I had leftover chili.
Yeah.
I had half an onion in the fridge, a block of cheddar cheese. I'm like, you know what?
The fact that you took the time to cut up an onion and the cheese at 11 is perfect.
You know what? If you want to have the kind of meal you've been dreaming of through a Husker baseball game, sometimes you got to take an extra couple minutes and dice an onion and grate a little cheese. And that's not bag shredded cheese.
It looked solid. You got the block.
Yeah, whenever you hand grate that off the block, it melts so much better.
You have an old school one where it sits down, or you have like the flat?
I have the flat one.
All right, flat one.
I'm not a huge fan. I'm gonna look to upgrade. I think I'm not a huge fan of the flat one. What's nice about the flat one is you can put it like directly over top of a bowl, and it all falls into the bowl, which you can sometimes do depending on the size of the bowl with the block one. Yeah, but it's got a little like bendiness to it.
Yeah, the flat one bothers me because I don't think you can use you got to like cut the block of cheese to a smaller level.
Yeah, exactly.
Where the bit like the one get after it.
Yeah, you can really get into it with the big block.
Yeah.
It's more efficient that way.
Yeah. But I was just thinking, man, it looked good.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was really good. It was exactly
You have a
what I needed.
side dish with it or just that? Like those potato chips?
I had some potato chips.
I feel like
and
you'd be like
I didn't
potato
need them.
salad guy or
By
something.
the time 11 p.m. rolled around, I just wanted the hot dog.
Yeah.
Chili cheese dog.
Yeah. Good morning, Randy 40. Good morning, Justin. What's up?
And if you want to see my chili cheese dog, no innuendo there. If you want to see it, check out my Twitter at Herbal Essences. I guess X. Check it out.
Yeah, it's Twitter. It's Twitter. Yeah, go check it out.
Yeah, no, I
You're a good follower because there's some things like, whoa. You should do like a cooking type thing.
I've thought about it.
Yeah, like cooking and your candles and all that. Like that'd be a good follow.
I'll make an Instagram for that.
Instagram for that? I
Do
don't
some
know.
reels.
Maybe.
Feels like
Sure.
a lot of work. That's passion, and I feel like if I start making videos on it, now it turns into like a job type
No,
thing.
I just like
Gotta
it.
set up cameras and whatnot.
Especially when you're
narration.
making your soups.
Soups would be easy.
You would inspire people.
Problem is, it's not really soup season anymore.
No, it's not. We've definitely moved on.
Once you get into spring,
I mean, you wouldn't feel like it this weekend coming up. Maybe you have one more run of soup this weekend.
possible.
One more run.
I'll say rain, stay away. I've got
Yeah, I
family.
know.
I've got family in town this week. And, I got,
but you're not yet. But yeah,
I got
but-
tea time with my uncle booked on Saturday.
But here's
so
the deal. Here's the deal. You got a solid plan. I'm going to leave it at that. You got a solid plan for your family.
Why not stay with me? So
I know it's this.
love you, family. If you're
Yeah,
out there listening, love you.
but see you on Saturday. We've got. I know. I was just hoping for the weather to be good because we always for baseball for our 14s and it matches this year with our 10s. My 10-year-old. The 14s from 12s on whatever year, but we always take this. We call it the All-Star break. We always take a break. So we have a game tonight. We don't even see the kids from tonight after tonight until Monday. We might do a little walk through Monday, hit a little bit because we play Tuesday, but we give them the entire Memorial weekend off to go hang. And then you look at the forecast and go, this crap. It looks like a lot of rain.
It does. Which good for my lawn. Want to look at the bright side of life. I'm just praying as long as we have good weather for that 4th of July weekend. Because you get this weekend or this year, 4th of July, the 3rd's on a Thursday, the 4th's on a Friday.
Ooh, get out
I
of those
believe.
days.
I believe.
I think you're right.
Let me check that.
That's a question mark. Look, quick review here. Yeah,
Yeah.
4th on a. Oh, that's a long
Yeah.
weekend, my man.
So I would trade.
Woo!
I'll trade some rain and some chilliness this weekend
for that.
for a beautiful 4th of July weekend.
For that.
Give me like 89 or 90, sunny all weekend long.
Yeah, we're
No, don't
running
give me
that.
high 90s. Give me like high 80s to low 90s on that 4th of July weekend. Give me that, and I'll trade you some rain on
Yeah.
my Memorial Day weekend.
Morning, Kobe. Kobe said, "Did you forget to start the stream again?" I don't think you did.
so. No,
No.
I think we're on time.
The counters, the lives run. You'll run. We're here. Well, last night, quite entertaining. Nebraska baseball, good crowd last night. I'm trying to think. I'm hoping. I mean, there's a lot that happened this game. There's a lot to get through in this game, right? You did what you had to do. You stayed close, right? Case Anderson have a day. What, 3 for 5?
2 RBIs too.
2 RBIs. Have a day yourself, my friend, out there. I'm trying to figure out how to talk. I mean, this is you survived, you advanced. That's all it's at. Like, I also want to believe that the right fielder, again, fortunately for us, unfortunately, big stage for the right fielder who had made some fantastic plays for Michigan State, right? Had a blunder in right field with 2 outs, bottom 9. We tie the game. I want to believe that maybe that exiled all the times that in every Husker sport for the last 20 years, it exiled all the demons, that it actually something like that wasn't us making that play. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. That's a tough one.
You'll take him how you can get him, though.
But I love the
And-
song you started with, Bob.
because that's what I think happened. We talked before the show. Everyone's asking, like, man, how does that happen? If you watch that right fielder, he takes a couple false steps in before he starts moving back. And I think he had to reach up above his head to make the catch. I'm wondering if in that last split second before it came into his glove, if he lost it in the light.
Maybe.
That's my main thought there.
Maybe.
Because the angle, that's not a standard angle with how it's lining in at you. And to mention the fact
He
that
kind of was.
it's over your head. It's,
Like
it's
the
over your
announcer
head.
mentioned maybe, I don't know, the glove view. I don't know.
I'm feeling
Got to make the play.
a guy like that. Yeah, I know there is a little bit of pressure in that moment, but that is a routine play for him. even despite the fact that he stepped in a couple steps, it was Adam.
Yeah, my favorite view of that, if you're watching it, did you notice the guy in the bullpen? Go check the view of the guy in the bullpen because it's at the right fielder. He's got his hand up. I'm like, poor guy.
The way it bounced out of his glove, I just think he probably lost it in the lights at the Chuck.
You do what you're supposed to do.
But
Okay,
you'll take it. You'll take it, and
you'll take it all day long.
One thing I was gonna say is it's a bit of redemption for how Michigan State scored that fourth run.
That's what I was going to get to a little bit because Nebraska tried not to do this. They tried not to. We got to their guy a little bit. He pitched 6 innings. He had 7 hits. We got 3 runs off of him. He had 6 strikeouts, 104 pitches. Make our way. Ty Horn, 2 innings. Fine. 3 earned runs, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. Wasn't that great. Only give up 2 hits. Your bullpen was fine last. They got the job done yesterday, but unfortunately that one bonehead pickoff play, my goodness, that would have been one of those. If you lose that game, you found how many ways you're going to find to lose. That'd be new. That'd be a new one for me.
There was no. So if you missed the game, runner on, I believe it was first and second for Michigan
was
State.
It first? I thought it was
just second.
Second and third.
Wow.
Because he scored from third, right?
He scored from second.
When Timmerman threw the ball down?
Didn't he?
No. It was go back and look at it.
Well, why on earth would you pick off to second if there's a guy on third? Was it loaded?
Bases loaded, maybe? They do that play. So they have ran that play for years. The back pick to second with bases loaded. And go back. I wish I could pull up the history of that. It has been very effective with that. That is I don't call it a trick play, but they've done that.
Kobe confirms bases were loaded.
Bases loaded. They run a little back pick play to second. Timmerman, kind of this wasn't going to throw it. Maybe it wasn't there. They thought it was going to be there, and it just went.
Well, it was like he was turning to throw to second and then realized, there's nobody on second base, and I got to stop this throw, and it slips out of the hand.
Yes.
So with that, maybe it's a little bit of.
I don't know. Whatever.
You're getting even with happening right in the bottom of the ninth.
Yeah, boy.
But regardless. Was that a gritty beats pretty win? It sure wasn't pretty.
It wasn't pretty at all. That was gritty.
Take him how you can get it. And now,
when Roger, by the way, I watched him pitch a little bit. That dude is nails. He is fun to come watch it. And by the way,
the arm slot.
Arm
slot's impossible.
Yes. We talked about this yesterday about the urgency because right now, even the announcers, as we talked through the pool yesterday, losers, by the way, are playing an exhibition game coming up. That's all you're doing. These teams like Indiana losing, what are they doing for the next 3 days hanging out? Or whenever they play whatever, they're going to hang out in Omaha and
go see the sights.
Go play for nothing.
Go see the zoo.
But the importance of what we talked about yesterday about pitching and winning. Look at the dudes they threw yesterday. That tells you everything you need to know about the urgency of getting to the win and getting to Friday night.
4 best arms.
Ty Horn. 4 best arms got on the board. There it is. You got your Ty Horn. Your Saturday started. Your Friday starter had to come in relief, and your 2 best bullpen arms.
And I think now with how you divvied that up, there's a good chance all 4 of those could be good to go against.
They have to be
Friday night.
Well, based on if you're looking at it from a perspective of pitch count, yes, these dudes have to be ready to go. Because here's the deal: you had to win on last night. You got to win Friday. Everything's set up.
I wonder if you flip it on Friday and have Timmerman start.
He threw 52 pitches.
Now he's got 2 full days of rest.
Yeah, 52 pitches. So he threw the most. But Ty Horn threw 49. This is a situation like a Game 7 of a World Series is what you're pretty much doing on a Friday night. All in anyone are available. Everyone's available. I don't care. At that point, you're all available. Because it's point blank, you got to go win.
Got to go win against a very, very good team. Who we talk about it, Michigan State. Their game there does not matter.
No,
so their ace is going to be going.
No, it could be different. If you look at it, can Oregon lose?
Well, if they lose to Michigan State, it doesn't matter.
They still got it. It's coming down to Friday night.
Because if they lose on to Michigan State and then beat Nebraska, they're through anyway.
Yeah, but it comes down to Friday night.
Nebraska's the only thing that matters. So now you get to march out some of your arms that do not matter against Michigan State and save your good arms for Nebraska. It's going to be good arm on good arm for Nebraska.
Look at this: 5 runs last night on 12 hits. They hit the ball around. Did not. Struck out 9 times. Not terrible. against a guy that's that throws it really hard and on that side. But man, what games you got from Brumbaugh, 3 for 5, Sanderson 3 for 5. Bobby Bolin, how gritty was that? How gritty is that guy? At the end there, to be able to drag bunt like that and make that happen is next to impressive. I mean, it's impressive. Knowing you need to get a guy on and get him over and get him in, fantastic.
And he had a nice, if you listen to his post-game interview with BTN,
I did.
He had a nice moment where he said, yeah, first pitch of the at-bat, I thought I had a really, really good swing. And I look over, get the signs, and Bolt said, we're going to bunt here. And
by the way,
he said, I'm going to do my job.
Which, by the way, I remember listening to him say that. The bunt sign was on. This wasn't it's kind of open. I see it. I mean, and it was perfectly executed in that situation. But they did. They survived. They move on Friday night, 6 o'clock. Expect Omaha that to be an electric environment Friday night.
Absolutely.
6 o'clock. Imagine, I envision whatever seats available in the lower half will be full. They might have to open up the outfield.
Are you going to go up?
I cannot. I cannot.
Rain, stay away. We will say that.
Rain, stay away. But Nebraska does something yesterday that the other two better seats couldn't do.
Win.
Look at that first game, Illinois in a 10-inning. By the way, we got 2 extra inning games yesterday. In the first one, Illinois upsets Michigan, 6-5. Wow. And then in the second game, how about Rutgers getting it done 5-2 in that game? Got a lot of people going to be playing some Friday night or whatever next day exhibitions coming up.
It's a weird new set.
It's a weird. I don't like it. I don't like it. So, let's see. So today, here's what you get today if you're up in Omaha and hang out. By the way, if you get a chance, I know Nebraska's not there and you have the day off, you love it, and you love baseball. You're getting some great weather if you want to go see some good. Just go watch baseball today. Starting here shortly, in about 38 minutes or so. Illinois, UCLA. Illinois trying to get to that 2-0 in advance, knock UCLA off, and then at 2 o'clock, Washington, Penn State. You can forget the nightcap. Rutgers, Iowa. You don't want to see Iowa play.
That one does have importance, though, yeah? Just because Rutgers won yesterday?
Rutgers, I mean, if Illinois and Rutgers can somehow go out and win today, there you go. 2-0 in the pod.
I don't think they both win.
No.
UCLA is a very, very good baseball team. Iowa's been struggling as of late.
Iowa would be the team that I would want to see how they respond after their 1-8-1 finish. What the mental psyche's like. Just giving away number one. I mean, the ones. Just gave it away. Yeah. Or maybe it was taken. I don't know which one it was.
We'll say come 2 o'clock today, as much as I love Big Ten baseball, I will be watching Tottenham in the Europa League final, most likely. I'll be here, so I'll have it pulled up on the phone. I'm wearing the jersey today. It's a big one.
Oh, yeah.
Tottenham have not won a trophy of this magnitude. They haven't really won any trophy, but a trophy of this magnitude since 1984. That was the last time they won the Europa League. 1984.
84.
41 years ago. They got a chance today. They got Man United. They're playing them in Bilbao, 2 o'clock today, Central Time. I'll be locked in on that.
Should be locked in.
It's been a horrible season for Tottenham, but it's been a bad season for Man U too. And each team can finish strong. If you win the Europa League, you're into the Champions League next year.
Will it be over before 4 o'clock?
Yeah. Well, unless it goes extra time.
I just want to make sure you're locked in.
It'll be over. If there's no extra time, it'll be over around 3:45.
Okay, let's make sure you're locked in.
If they do play extra time, that'll be going into the 4 o'clock hour, and I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Because there's another sports show you got to get going.
Mm-hmm.
4 o'clock, the Average Joe Sports Show. Yeah. And I know you better be locked in.
I'm always locked in.
All right. So, speaking of locked in, Kobe said, by the way, it can't rain on Sunday because he's going to Yankees-Rockies game in Denver.
Sure, he's not going to see the Rockies.
Nobody's going to see the Rockies. He's taking your advice, going to the game because the Yankees are in town. He's going to go probably up to that deck area.
This is an aside. Did you see Kyle Schwarber's 300th career home run?
No.
It was caught by a Rockies fan, and he got himself a signed bat from Kyle Schwarber out of it. And he said the direct quote was, "This is amazing. He just recently got into baseball." You got into baseball in 2025? You're a Rockies fan? That's what you got into?
What bet did he lose?
Or you're into masochism? What's up with that?
Or is he just into
into pain and suffering?
Pain and suffering. That's it. Or he figured out that party deck is really nice, and it's like, if there's a team that does it like this, any better? I don't know.
He's going out there partying, getting cheap tickets into the stadium.
Well, he might just, I mean, cheap tickets. He lands a home run ball. I mean, there's not a lot of fans going there. There's a higher chance you're catching some valuable memorabilia. I get it.
Well, what Coors Field is it's the biggest bar in Denver, and there just happens to be a baseball game going on there. So you can have a good time there still.
I've been down there a few times, and we've stayed in that. It's called the Rally Hotel. Rally, like as in baseball team rally. It's really cool. All baseball theme rooms. It's stadium
right across the street.
Yeah, right across the street.
Right next to the dispensary.
I didn't see that. I was with the kids.
Dispensary's a couple blocks down.
Ryan 84. I'm trying to make that. I can't see that. Can you make that up?
Ryan?
There's a lot of stuff going on there. Put that up.
He's talking about Kid Radio.
We still love him. We still love him. I had a text exchange with Will Wilson yesterday.
He liked my tweet about the chili dog.
Yeah, he was there yesterday. He actually sent me a nice little note because he'd seen some pictures of my daughter graduating. So, yeah, it was really nice. So, all right, let's take a break. Speaking of nice, the Western Conference Finals started. Will the real MVP please stand up? We'll talk about that and a whole lot more when we return. What is going on out in my yard? Stay connected. Oh, stay safe. Morning, Dot. Yeah. Kobe said, oh, no, I ain't going to see the Rockies. Sitting in right field to hopefully see Judge. Like, they can't, when you go to a Rockies game in a different jersey, they can't even be mad at you. They can't talk. Like, how unfortunate is that? The opposing team comes to your place, you can't talk crap.
I have a good song for you.
All right, love it. You know that? How that must be a demoralizing one. I mean, I get it. Like the Yankee fans are all going to show up, or whatever fan, and you can't talk crap. Yeah. Like, all right, yeah, we suck. We're gonna get beat. You're right. You're right.
I'm here for the hot dogs.
Man. Yeah, my beer's cheaper than yours in New York.
True.
That's your response. Hey, you up in 700? Please come down. There are seats in the 200s. That is the loud. Can you hear that from over there? What a Wednesday. I had to turn my mood upside down today. I'll tell you about it when I come back. That ain't where I want to go. Yeah.
Sucking on a chili dog, sucking on a chili dog, sucking on a chili dog, sucking on a chili dog. Sucking on a chili dog. Sucking on a chili dog. Sucking on a
Welcome
chili
back
dog,
to the
sucking
Morning
on a
Hookup. Happy
chili dog.
Hump Day.
Chili dog. Sucking on a chili
Are you one that?
dog.
All right, so you're making a chili dog at 11 o'clock. You're like, that's what it sounds like it's going to be. Are you grilling the chili dog? What are we doing? Or is it just a popped in the microwave and we're going to doctor it up, guy?
No, we're just a light pan fry.
Oh,
Yeah, no, just tiny bit of oil in the pan.
You
Get
gotta be kidding.
it a little bit charred up on the outside. Toss it in the bun, and then you throw the cheese or the chili and the cheese on. Throw it into the broiler, and then the onion on top.
I knew it wasn't going to be simple. That's impressive. I don't even like. We don't even have hot dogs at our house. It's a grill type thing, or if I'm on the golf course, that's when I have it really good, like hot dogs. Which, by the way, I had to turn my frown upside down this morning because Wednesdays are the days I usually play. Been in the same five-man captains group for years, same guys. But apparently today, I'm not playing today. I'm not playing. Sad deal. Sad deal. I love league baseball games that start at 5 o'clock with a 4 o'clock arrival.
Get in, get out. Oh, was that sarcasm behind that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That means I've got to leave the house at like 3:20, 3:30 today. Come on. Pregame at 4. Like I usually tee off at 12:30.
You can fire up the speaker and get the Average Joe Sports Show playing in the dugout. I'm sure all the kids would love that. Trying to figure out the right way to answer that.
Yeah. Well, it's the kids. Like the kids are coming up in their last couple of days of school. My two olders are out. They're out. They got out last week. But LPS isn't out till tomorrow. So it's a scramble as well for parents today because we have try to get there by 4 to warm up. We can play at 5 when the kids aren't even, they get out like what time the kids get out in LPS? Like 3:10, 3 o'clock, 3:30? I don't know.
At least you don't have a double header, so you're not there.
Oh, you got a double header tonight?
No, I don't. We're off tonight. We got practice, but
Practice.
some of those nights, like you said, you start at 5 o'clock, there till 9 o'clock at night.
That's not. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you'd knock a couple games out.
Sure.
I've never been a midweek guy fan. Play a lot of weekends. So, speaking of not wanting to apparently show up and play, the well-rested Minnesota Timberwolves last night. Boy, they got throttled 114-88. Boy, you look at it. OKC just opposed their will in this game last night. This thing was capped off third quarter. Go back and look at the third quarter, 32-18 in that one. I guess you can say the fourth quarter, too, unless the T-Wolves are like, well, you got us in the third, might as well have the fourth. 38-22 in the fourth, 114-88. Shea last night, 10 of 27, 31, 5, and 9. Williams, Holmgren, all 4 or 5 guys in double figures. Anthony Edwards' run, his not great play against the Thunder continue. Did tweak an ankle last night, apparently. Left, came back, got a technical last night, throwing the ball after a little hoop there. But he was 5 of 13, 18 and 9 for him. Randall, there's the guy that we talked about. If you can get a little bit more, if you get Ant to play like Ant does, and then have Randall come along, you got a chance. Last night, it was only one of the two.
I'd also say, too, well, admittedly, I did not watch this game. I had Husker baseball on, and I was pretty locked into that one. But DiVincenzo, 3 for 14. Conley, 2 for 8. Naz Reid, 1 for 11. Walker, 3 for 11. Looks like the Wolves did their best Celtics impersonation from the three-point line. 15 for 51 from 3.
I did not see it. 51 threes.
And OKC only shot 21 of them.
It was straight just
They
jacking them up
Shot
last night.
30 more three-pointers.
DiVincenzo and Alexander, if you look at 6 of 25. Oh, and Reed Adam. Oh, my 7 of 36 between the 3 guys.
And I watched a little bit of this game, close in the first half. I think it was a rest versus rust, where OKC, they just got done playing 7 games. They're still young. They got their legs under them. That's not a big deal for a team that's as young as they are. And they carried that intensity through a full 4 quarters. I think when a couple shots didn't fall, there was a one run midway through the third quarter for the Thunder where they knocked down a couple of threes. Minnesota couldn't buy a buck on the other end. Minnesota kind of fell out of the rhythm of the game. And it reached a point where it felt like OKC was just hitting every single mid-range jumper, and we're getting free drives to the rim where Minnesota couldn't knock down a shot. And I want to say they packed it in, but it was just a slightly rusty performance. And whenever it got away from them late, they said, you know what, we're on to game 2, especially in front of those fans. SGA was great. The fans were great. OKC, slightly deeper team. You got to see that last night. The series it's not over. This game 1 is not the story of the series because it was such a close first half. I think Minnesota's got the pieces to make this a long series, but OKC showed why the number 1 seed last night, and I think it helped them in this case that they just got done playing an intense 7-game series. They brought that intensity last night for a full 4 quarters. I don't think Minnesota did.
They did not. Now, I think this is a team in Minnesota, and if you heard Ant talk last night about just the short memory, I think this is a team that can wash it pretty quick when you look at them. But what I did see last night, I thought in this game is OKC, clear cut, know who they are, they know the plan, and they executed to perfection last night. Minnesota is going to be after the team now from that side to figure out how to make the proper adjustments. OKC is going to be who they are every single game. They know their offense. They don't regularly veer from it. They know the defensive game plan. They've been that consistent all year long. Can Minnesota on that side make some adjustments? Somehow they got to figure out how to get Ant going against these guys because I think he averaged, what was this yearly average, like 30 plus or something. Against OKC, it was only 22. So that's another game that he has struggled to find his way against a team like that. I don't know.
When OKC has it clicking like this, their defense with Caruso and Dort.
Nobody beats them.
And then Shai comes out and gives you 31, 5, and 9. That's tough to beat.
How many free throws?
He was 11 of 14.
11 of 14. That's the big debate on Twitter right now is Shai a foul baiter? And I would have to say yes, but who isn't in today's game nowadays, you know? Everybody's a flopper in today's NBA.
Wait, if you look at the line, it wasn't him. He had 14 shots, but it was 21 to 26 for OKC and 15 to 21 at the line for Minnesota. But the way they attacked it last night, I mean, they really attacked the rim last night. If you watch that team, they were slashing, getting to the bucket. It's going to be interesting to see as that series continues. If, again, on my side, it'd be like, can Minnesota be able to make adjustments schematically? And they got to make them for Ant to be in a successful situation. Well, tonight, you get another one. Pacers, Knicks.
Another foul baiter and flopper. Yeah.
Playoff Jalen?
I'm biased. I don't like the Knicks. Being a all Boston sports fan, anything to do with New York, I can't stand them. But they probably win tonight at home, unfortunately.
You think?
Yeah. The way they came off that series against the Celtics, that last game, they had everything working, and I think they're going to ride some of that momentum into tonight, especially after last year trying to get some revenge on the Pacers and how much back and forth trash talk there was in that series. I think that crowd is going to be absolutely electric in Madison Square Garden. I think the Knicks come out firing tonight. I don't want them to.
I don't want them. I don't know. This could be a good series. I think there's so much history, not in recent time, but recent.
Yeah.
Go back and look at the history of this. The Garden. I think the Garden is going to be an X factor in this series. But also, the Pacers have been playing with a chip on their shoulder. Right? They're playing that not supposed to be here card. Hildebrand playing like I'm the, that chip of, being the most overrated player by his peers. It'd be interesting. I think this could be. I think this series will turn into be a more physical series than anticipated. I think the Knicks will be the aggressor, and then the Pacers will step up. I also want to see how this one will be officiated.
Yeah, that'll be big.
How would this be officiated? When you talk about a guy like Brunson, will he have the ability to get those or bait those fouls, and what he looks like shooting it from the free throw line? How many free throws will he get?
I think the Pacers have an advantage with the rotation being a little bit deeper than the Knicks. The Knicks kind of run out 7, 8 guys there. Tibbs is notoriously known for running his guys 40+ minutes.
Well, he beats him down.
And the way the Pacers play, you saw it last year, and you've seen it in other series. They get the ball up and down the court and move the ball around on offense.
You know,
If the Pacers can take advantage of that and kind of wear out the Knicks, I think that's probably their best shot.
yeah. I mean, on paper, you look at the tail of the tape for the season. Pacers average 117, Knicks 115. They both shoot it right at 48%. Pacers make one more three on average a game. They both shoot at 36% from three. They both shoot around 80% from the line. Both average about 42. I mean, this is on paper. You're looking like a 7-game series.
I hope we get 7-game series from both sides. Yeah, I think that's a very possible outcome is a 7-game series in the West and the East.
This will be fun. This will be fun. Will you watch tonight?
Personally, no, I'm working Salt Dogs baseball. I will ask the question to you guys. Give me your preferred NBA Finals matchup. What do you think is the most exciting that we could end up seeing?
I'd be all down for Minnesota, New York.
See,
I'm Minnesota, New York.
I don't know if
I like the cast of characters would be pretty fun.
I don't know if
personally.
I can give you an answer because honestly, any matchup that we get, I would find exciting. But gun to my head, we'll go Knicks Thunder.
Knicks Thunder, okay.
No one wants to see Tyrese Halliburton in the finals.
Nobody was even saying the Pacers. Now, I just like the cast of characters. I think there's storylines upon storylines. If the Knicks end up making it back to the finals for the first time, and boom, and the finals in the Garden, you got Ant-Man over there busting through finally. Can he take over that stardom in the NBA? Can he, it's kind of a smaller market team. Can they take one on and win? I think it's probably, in my opinion, we'll probably get Thunder Knicks, which is still intriguing. I think the NBA will be happy with anything that has to do with the Garden in the NBA Finals. The history of all that and the cast of characters that'll be sitting on the sidelines. Shea coming in to be the villain in Madison Square Garden. I mean, that has a lot of good stuff too. And can it be one of those things that from the NBA perspective and from OKC, pretty much wire to wire, the best team in the NBA all season long, right? Minus the Celtics, not dogging the Celtics, but they're one of the top two all year long.
Yeah.
I feel like in the NBA there aren't many times that you like say, oh, these are the two best teams and they should be in the finals, and that's probably what could happen. But we could get one of them. Minus, we had an injury and it's intriguing. But I think NBA, anything with the Garden will be awesome. Right at 40 says he wants Wolves and Knicks, but likely OKC and the Knicks. Kobe wants to know that chili dog was an 11 p.m. a sober dog or having a few beer dog.
It was one old fashioned. There was one celebratory old fashioned while I was making the chili dog. So the inspiration came.
The inspiration came.
100% sober. Then you made while I'm dicing my onion and making it, sipping on an old fashioned.
There's always at that point those decisions are made at that point somehow. So, all right, good stuff. Let's take a break and let's come back. And when we come back, let's talk a little bit about the NFL. The proposal that was either rejected or the team that had it removed themselves from it to get back. And then also the tush push. Let's talk about that a whole lot more when we return.
you can either look through the folder and pick a song, or you can pull one off YouTube if you want. You go File, Open.
Hmm.
And then click on that top of the recent folders. That one up there. And Willie J intro music. And a whole bunch of ones in there.
This seems like a well folder.
It is. It's eclectic.
Oh, here we go. Guess that doesn't matter. You can't hear that, can you?
No. Well, you can kind of hear it through your mic, but not really. You ask him.
Folks, can you hear this?
Like it's like
Way faint.
yeah. I'm glad you didn't make fun of me and say, "Can you see this?" Because I'd say absolutely no.
We got 7:37 on the clock here, so you might as well go out and delete the fourth commercial break of the hour, which is not that one. Just scroll down that one, because we're not going to need that one.
Right here?
Yeah, so you can just go, then you click so you delete that plus the router on and off manual and all that. The only thing we want there is spots.
Okay, so have this. You delete this too?
Yep.
This?
That and the rejoin. Yep.
Cool.
Yep. And that will just run 7:42 to the top of the hour. So make sure you play a 30-second bed when there's 38 seconds left.
Okay. And that's this one. At the bottom.
Yep.
Cool. All right, we're coming back.
Let's go. Welcome back in the morning hookup. A few moments left in the fast-moving first hour. Thanks for hanging out with us. It is so nice to see the sun out today. My wife was not having me yesterday, by the way, because I was not in a great mood. I can hear that. It's like a crowd noise in the back. It's awesome. It's like surround sound in my head. Are you guys like that? I'm a weather. Sometimes, a lot of times, the weather dictates my moods. Cloud cover yesterday, windy. Ugh.
I agree.
I turn to not like the nicest person sometimes. I just say things that come off wrong. I walk in the door last night and my wife's like, just stay away from your dad. Like instantly, stay away from your dad. She like pokes the bear. Just stay away from him. He's not being very nice. Like no filter. What's wrong with that? I told you to stay away from him. He's not being very nice.
Days like yesterday, they just make you want to not do anything. Sit on the couch with a blanket, watch a movie.
Yes. Chili dog. Get a chili dog at 11.
Eat a sober chili dog at 11 p.m.
Pop it in the microwave, put a little cuts into it. A little NFL before we get out of here. A couple things happened. So the Lions, they withdraw the proposal. They were seeking a format for the NFL playoffs, right? What we're understanding now, sources saying they didn't have the support for it. No support. So they're like, all right, because guys, a lot of these stuff, they figure out what they want to do, they throw it out there, and they do like the straw poll to figure out who's gonna buy, who's gonna jump on with them. If it doesn't happen, they move on. So it doesn't have support, but I want to get you guys' opinion. So they proposed the proposal would have seeded each conference 7 playoff teams based on record and not division standings. Pretty much that's plain and simple. Because we see a lot of these things happen. For instance, the NFC South is so bad. Where they finished what? What did they last year? Was it the Buck that won that thing? I can't remember. But from a standing perspective, you look at it, there's guys that are 9-8, winning divisions. hosting home playoff games where there's, the other division, the NFC North, with electric records going on the road. They're trying to stop that. But right now, it's not going to happen.
I think we talked about it a couple weeks ago. We were talking about the Steelers and their situation with their roster that they got going on right now. And Elijah was like, well, Mike Tomlin's going to do what Mike Tomlin does. And they're going to go 9-8 and make the playoffs, figure out a way. So, yeah, I'm in agreement with what the Lions proposed here.
I like it. That would be a perfect, because I'll give you some examples from last year. So this is the playoff picture from last year that probably they're talking about, where the Lions were the 1 seed. They don't matter at this point, but you had teams, Packers don't worry about, but you had like the Commanders. Commanders finished 12-5. They hit the road to a 10-7 Tampa Bay team. The Vikings finished 14-3. They hit the road against a 10-7 Rams team. On the flip side, that one wasn't as bad. That one pretty much stood up. The AFC stood up the way it should have stood up, because all the teams that hosted had better records. But it's more on that side.
The one sticking point that I have with rule changes such as this, I don't mind. Yeah, seed it 1 through 7 based on the record. I'm fine with that. I believe this rule change also had the stipulation that things would be reseeded per round, and the 1 seed would always face the lowest team. That I don't like.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think once you seed it, you move it and let it roll.
Because you know what happens if your 7 seed goes and beats the 2 seed based on record? Well, clearly the 7 seed's better than the 2 seed. So why are you going to go put them up against the 1 seed? I think the bracket should stay the same. I don't mind seeding it based on record. Fine by me. Tiebreakers would be by division champion. So if you have tiebreaker between a wild card team and a division champion team, or a wild card team, the division champion would get it on a tie. I'm cool with that. We don't need the reseeding.
No.
Leave the bracket the way it is. The playoffs play out. Hey, at the end of the day, if you want to make it to the Super Bowl, you got to beat all the best teams in the AFC or the NFC anyway. And I don't think reseeding necessarily makes an easier path, because if the 7 goes and beats the 2, or the 6 goes and beats the 3, that means the 7 was better than the 2, or the 6 was better than the 3. So why did you go throw those up against the 1 seed now? Keep the seeding the way it is once you already have it set. That's the change I'd make to this. Maybe that would get it over the line. I don't know. We don't need the post first round reseeding.
No, I agree. I think this will be something. I think this proposal will be something that will be here for, upcoming. This one isn't going to go away. As long as it's going to be like what we just did, like the tush push, the revised tush push. They just got to figure out ways to make it work and see what the language looks like. Sounds like today also that they will be voting. The owners will be voting on the tush push to ban that. There's a revised proposal in the revised proposal. The ban is broader, by the way. It is similar to and I'm reading this, CBSSports.com. The ban is similar to the NFL's language from 1920 through 2005, which prohibited players from pushing or pulling the runner in any direction. Given the language that's included in the revised proposal, it'd be virtually impossible for the tush push to live on if the proposal gets the necessary 24 votes from the league owners to put it into effect. Used to be that way, right? Like you couldn't touch anybody, especially a runner, push and pull and all that stuff. So this would be interesting. Do you guys have an opinion either way? I'm in this case that said if you can't beat it, let me try to figure out how to beat it.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Just beat it. Figure out a way to do it. And it's a very finite type of team that can run this anyway. And I think that's the problem people have, is that the Eagles might be the only team that can run it based on their offensive line. We saw it in the playoffs. Was it the Bills that tried it? Didn't work. A couple times.
I think it's something that has like a 90% success rate. So it's like, if you can't figure it out, it's kind of on you, But I think I saw a rule on Twitter that defensive players are not allowed to push each other.
Have them give that rule in play. Let them push.
Exactly. But then we're just turning this into rugby, So I don't know.
Well, and that's my thing with this. If you were to find somebody, one of the first football players back in the 1890s, and you brought them to modern day football, the one play that they'd be down for and understand would be the tush push.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, this is football at its heart. I don't think we should do away with it. I don't know.
I'm just saying, figure out a way to beat it.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. Football is man against man, mano a mano. If you can't stop a team of 10 guys from pushing 2 yards,
you got problems.
Get off the football field.
You got a problem. Or score more. All right, fast moving at first hour. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Sit back, relax. We'll be right back.
Plus live wagering, giveaways, food trucks, and more this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Post time Fridays, 3 p.m. and Saturday and Sundays, 1:30 p.m. This free event is open to all ages. Details at LegacyDowns.com.
If you suffer from burning, tingling, or numb feet, pay special attention as we discuss neuropathy with Dr. Ole Olson, D.C. Doctor, what is neuropathy?
Peripheral neuropathy is nerve damage in the arms, hands, legs, or feet.
What are the symptoms?
Symptoms can be numbness, burning, tingling, pain, or even loss of balance.
Is neuropathy treatable?
It's absolutely treatable, and we see amazing results.
If you have burning, tingling, numbness, coldness in your feet or hands, or balance issues, call Asuta Health today for a nerve damage screening. This screening will tell if you're at risk for serious complications and if you're a candidate for our cutting-edge treatment program. Don't wait until your symptoms are so severe nothing can be done. End-stage neuropathy leaves people confined to walkers, wheelchairs, even amputations. The first 10 callers will receive a free nerve damage screening. Simply call 402-745-3115. Act now. Call 402-745-3115 for your free nerve damage screening. Be among the first 10 callers and get this important screening for free. 402-745-3115.
The KFOR Sportscasters Club is recognizing Lincoln area high school coaches and contributors for the 2024-25 school year. All were honored through a virtual presentation. Congratulations to our Vince Aldridge Sports Person of the Year, LPS District Associate Athletic Director Adam Bonesteel. The Ralph Beechner Coaches of the Year are Gabby Barata of Lincoln East Swimming and Thomas Nettleton of Southwest Girls Soccer. Thanks to our corporate and gold level sponsors, Sandhills Global, and members of the KFOR Sportscasters Club.
Attention! Acres is cutting interest rates and offering great deals below market value on the largest selection of used inventory in the nation. For a limited time, Acres is offering interest rates as low as 2.9% on our late model John Deere ag equipment. Acres low interest rates, along with our below market prices on select John Deere used planters, tractors, sprayers, and combines, makes it a great time to upgrade your equipment for the 2025 season. Visit acres.com for details. That's AKRS.com. Offer ends May 31st, 2025. Subject to approved financing. Offer may change at any time without notice.
Something amazing is happening here. Scientists are using AI to study how whales talk to each other. CDW experts can give researchers the power to process complex data with HP workstations, advanced by AMD Ryzen Threadripper Pro processors. With easier handling of AI workloads, your organization can bring powerful insights to the surface. Make amazing happen. HP, AMD, and CDW. Learn more at cdw.com/HPAMD.
Remember when you could expect a contractor to be on time and on budget? Today, it's rare. But at Reynolds Design and Remodeling, on time and on budget are words they live by.
I'm Pam Magner, General Manager. For nearly 30 years, we've built our reputation on creative design, quality workmanship, and most important, on time, on budget performance.
For a beautiful new kitchen, bathroom, a new family room, or home addition, make the right choice. The on time, on budget choice. Check it out at ReynoldsDesignRemodel.com.
Live horse racing is back in Lincoln every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday until June 8th. Experience the thrill of live thoroughbred racing at Legacy Downs at Warhorse Casino Lincoln this weekend. Don't miss out on the excitement of live thoroughbred horse racing, plus live wagering, giveaways, food trucks, and more this Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Post time Fridays, 3 p.m. and Saturday and Sundays, 1:30 p.m. This free event is open to all ages. Details at LegacyDowns.com.
Lincoln's local news, talk, sports, and weather station. FM 101.5, 1240 AM, KFOR, and KFRX HD3, Lincoln.
From ABC News. Mike Dubusky, they've been going since around 1 in the morning in Washington, D.C., and House Speaker Mike Johnson says he wants the GOP budget reconciliation package to be put on the House floor later today. but he's running up against opposition within his own ranks. ABC News national correspondent Stephen Portnoy explains from Washington.
Behind closed doors, the wrangling continues as Speaker Mike Johnson tries to thread the needle. But House Freedom Caucus Chair Andy Harris of Maryland tells Newsmax that Johnson's efforts to appeal to GOP moderates have alienated conservatives.
This bill actually got worse overnight.
Harris says if the bill is put on the floor today, he'll vote against it, and he expects it would fail. The conservative holdouts want deeper cuts to the Medicaid program and a fuller wind down of Biden-era green energy provisions. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
Jerry Connolly, who served as Democratic representative for Virginia, has died. Speaker Johnson said he's saddened by the news. House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries says the country has lost a hardworking, humble, and honorable public servant. The Trump administration is facing new questions over its immigration policies after a federal judge ordered the administration to hold on to deportees that were reportedly going to be sent to countries they didn't come from. Assistant Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, Tricia McLaughlin.
Thanks to the courageous work of the State Department and ICE and the president's national security team, we found a nation that was willing to accept custody of these vicious illegal aliens.
That nation, according to the New York Times, it was South Sudan. The Justice Department now says it's dropping police reform policies it agreed to with the cities of Louisville and Minneapolis. They were intended to address allegations of systemic and unconstitutional policing and civil rights violations. The DOJ also says it's closing investigations into other police departments and retracting findings released during the Biden administration about departments alleged to have engaged in misconduct. You're listening to ABC News.
It's me, your liver. You know, the organ that helps you recover every weekend after pizza, donuts, and all those drinks. When you have a headache, you take an aspirin. You have a stomach ache, you pop an acid. But where's the love for your best buddy, the liver? The least that you could do to help me stay healthy is take Active Liver from New Nordic. Active Liver tablets contain high-quality, all-natural ingredients like milk thistle, globe artichoke, and turmeric extracts, which are proven to keep me healthy and you feeling your best. Active Liver provides an easy daily detox and helps protect me all year long. So let me make you an offer you can't refuse. You take care of me with Active Liver, and I keep taking care of you. Capiche?
See for yourself why Active Liver is Scandinavia's #1 liver health supplement. You can find Active Liver at CVS and online at Amazon or directly from NewNordicUSA.com. Again, find it in stores at CVS.
Regulating medical marijuana in Nebraska. Good morning. I'm Jeff Moe. It's right now 57 degrees at KFOR. Last year, the voters spoke and approved of ballot initiatives that would legalize medical marijuana in Nebraska. However, an effort led by Nebraska lawmakers on Tuesday stalled and was killed for the session. LB 677 failed to get 30 votes needed to advance and fell short 23-22. It would allow doctors, physicians assistants, or certified nurse practitioners licensed and practicing in Nebraska to recommend cannabis to patients who fall under a list of 15 qualifying medical conditions. The bill was from Blair Senator Ben Hansen.
If we're going to say it's medical, we treat it like medical. This is not recreational. I don't care what anybody says, and I want them to prove me otherwise.
Now a commission with 2 appointees from Governor Jim Pillen and 3 from the Nebraska Liquor Control Commission will come up with regulations for medical marijuana. The tornado that struck the North Bend area in southwestern Dodge County early Monday evening has been rated as an EF1 according to the National Weather Service, with estimated winds of 100 miles per hour. It did topple some trees. At least 2 mobile homes were damaged, one of which had a tree split it in half. The Dodge County Emergency Management Office says 2 minor injuries were reported. The law enforcement torch run for Special Olympics Nebraska is today, starting at noon at Morrill Hall on UNL's city campus. Lincoln Police and Lancaster County Sheriff's Office are participating, and the torch run route will run from campus past the state capitol and then in front of the Hall of Justice around 12:30 this afternoon.
Please join us on the steps of the Hall of Justice for celebration and speakers starting at 12:30 p.m. with comments from the mayor, police chief, Sheriff Wagner.
That's LPD Public Information Manager Erica Thomas. By the way, the opening ceremonies and competition for Special Olympics being held later today in Omaha. Lincoln's first forecast today, mostly sunny and a high of 72. Tonight, mostly clear, low of 43. Sunny tomorrow and a high of 69. For Friday, a 60% chance of rain and a high of 68. It's 57 right now. I'm Jeff Motes, KFOR News.
I'm back to doing what I love and more. Thanks to the Good Feet store.
I love
shoes. You find them in the store, they like call you, but they hurt. The best ones hurt the worst. And you're walking around going, I don't want anyone to know that I'm not happy. You're stuck in the arch supports, and I felt so much better. I'm pain-free. I'd say Good Feet help with all of my great shoes. They turned out to be something that actually works for me. Now with Good Feet, I don't have to choose between looking good and feeling good. My name is Ava, and that's my Good Feet story.
Bring in your favorite shoes to the Good Feet store, and we'll personally fit you to ensure your comfort. Visit the store at 27th and Pine Lake Road across from South Point Mall or at goodfeet.com.
Thanks to the Good Feet store.
The Good Feet system fits in all your
This is the Morning Hookup on KFOR.
A Monday warrior, mean strike. Today's Tom Sawyer, mean pride.
Well, welcome back to the Morning Hookup, hour number 2. Thanks for hanging out with us. Elijah, this is for you. I had to bring it up. I forgot to bring it up when we talked NBA. We have Henry T. Buchanan here in about 9-10 minutes. Your former coach of the Nuggets. You got a bone to pick? Mike Malone, by the way, came out back in March. He's like, boy, the Joker should win the MVP 10 out of 10 times.
He's got a bone to pick.
Last night, he's like, Shea showed why he's the MVP.
Sour grapes. That's he also called OKC's fans the best fans in all the NBA.
Wow.
And at first, I went, this is a guy who does not have much experience in TV saying what he thinks you should be saying in TV. Man, greatest fans in basketball here. No, it's sour grapes. He doesn't like the way he was let go from Denver. He's mad that the fans have taken the side of Adelman.
Yeah.
He doesn't like that. I don't think he likes the way that Jokic has kind of taken control of the team since he's been gone. And a lot of folks have said, man, well, why didn't Mike Malone let the best player in the world have control? It's sour grapes. He's sitting here saying Shea's the MVP, OKC's the best fans. He doesn't like the way the whole situation went down. He's going to go on TV and voice his frustrations. I get it. If I was in his shoes, I would be frustrated as well, and I would probably not like the organization or the city of Denver. At the end of the day, you're a championship-winning coach. You have Nikola Jokic in Denver to thank for that.
And act like a championship coach.
I mean,
you know what I'm saying? I don't get.
I'm not upset about it's. He's taking shots at the organization that let him go. Honestly, fair. If I was in your shoes, I would do that too.
I don't know. I'm a person. I mean, whatever the situation, but I'm a person that will probably look more about how I was taken care of by something or someone for so long versus now I'm pissed. Like this thing back at the positive.
The reports are that it was a mess behind the scenes for most of this season. There was infighting with him and the GM. He never quite felt valued. The front office wouldn't take. I mean, the rest of the front office aside from the GM kind of just let that entire thing play out. The ownership let it play out. I understand why there's frustration with the last season. Is it a classy move to go out there and air your dirty laundry in that way? Not by any means. He's never been classy. He remember in the championship parade, he was taking pot shots at the Lakers. He's a chip on his shoulder type of guy. He had a chip on his shoulder last night. You know what? I don't care.
Just thought it was interesting.
If you didn't want to be like, oh, you shouldn't have let a Cold War fester between you and the GM for months upon months upon months, and it led to decisions that led the Nuggets to lose basketball games. He's only got himself to blame here. Still love Mike Malone.
Absolutely. Something else as we get closer here to Henry T. Buchanan is, we're getting a few days away from Husker softball, and I think there's a lot of excitement brewing around this, especially, I think, not just locally, but nationally when you look at it. Started looking at this matchup, but obviously you go back, and Nebraska has gotten the better end of Tennessee one time, I believe the first game of the season. This thing will be Friday, 6 o'clock, ESPN2. Best 2 out of 3 coming up this weekend in Knoxville. Boy, is there anything, from a softball perspective in that softball world that can get any better than a pitching duel when you look at these two ladies that are going to go inside the circle? That's got to fire you up, by the way, with a Jordy Ball and Pickens in the middle. Ball, obviously, with a 1.5 ERA. That's 6th nationally, 25-6. They're hitting 151 against her. We look at Pickens, pitcher of the year, by the way. 0.9 ERA, 22-8. She's given up 5 home runs in 186 innings. Boy, she's really good. This is going to be fun.
I'm excited for this, but so what's the time slot on this game? Do they have this at the same time as the baseball game?
Yeah. Nope. Friday, 6 o'clock.
That's the only
They
part.
go Friday at 6 and Saturday at 4. Game 3, if needed, they'll announce that later.
That's the only part that upsets me.
It's going to take away.
Yeah. But yes, I am very excited for this matchup. I have not watched a lot of Husker softball this year, but I've heard a lot about Jordy Ball and this girl from Tennessee. If I'm not mistaken, she has the fastest pitch ever recorded.
It wasn't that thing. I can't remember what it was, 72 or 77. I can't remember which one it was. It was fast.
Yeah. We'll see who cracks first.
In their first meeting, by the way, if you look at it, if you want to, again, this goes way back, by the way, in this.
Sorry, I just did some research. 78.2 miles per hour.
There it
the
is.
fastest pitch
Oh!
in NCAA softball history thrown earlier this year.
Wow. Now, going back, again, this was early on. Nebraska did win 7-1 in the Leoff Classic. Ball pitched 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 unrun, struck out 7. And there is, I guess it's been a long season, but Pickens was the pitcher of record. 5 innings, she gave up 5 hits, struck out 11. But Nebraska did score 5 runs with Pickens in the circle. But none were earned.
Okay.
2 errors by Tennessee.
But hey, that should give you a little confidence coming in this game. Like, hey, we already got these guys. Look where we're at right now. Let's go win 2 games. Let's get to the College World Series.
Yeah, this will be interesting. I think this one's going to come down to who can crack the pitcher first.
Yep, exactly.
Which offense can get it done. We know what Nebraska's done offensively with home run records and run rule records and extra base hits. They had 216 extra base hits this year, by the way. Can they crack that? Can they crack Pickens? Or does Tennessee crack Ball? Which one happens first? I think this is going to be which offense can execute. It also may be one of those things. It might not be, I don't think you see big time scoring games, and I could be wrong. But which team can get out to maybe that 2-0, 3-0 lead? Right? Play good defense, but get out to a 2 or 3. Because with both these ladies on inside the circle, 2-0 and 3-0 is,
yeah, you're not going to need much.
Like over the course of a season, looking at what their stats are, it's almost insurmountable.
Yeah.
Getting up like that.
Both of them have what? Sub 2 ERAs.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, you got Ball with 1.5 and Pickens 0.9.
Yeah, so you're not going to need much. Get a couple across. Have your pitcher go out there and shut them down.
The defensive side, when you look at Tennessee, by the way, they only committed 37 errors all season. Pitching and defense, offense. So who's going to crack the offense first? Who's going to do it first? That's where this comes down to. And I'm sure there'll be a lot of people that'll be watching. There'll be a lot of people also probably if you're in Omaha, probably got their phones lit up on ESPN too.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. So, all right, here we go, man. Good stuff. Let's take a break. When we come back, a lot to talk to with Husker legend Henry T. Buchanan.
So, hop on the stream and I can take it if you want.
Sure. Crew, what's up? Good morning. Happy hump day. T, what's up, brother?
What's up, fellas?
Oh, you got the office week.
Yes, sir. Man, oh man. How about that game last night?
Which baseball?
Yes.
Yeah, it's wild.
What? I know you've probably seen something like that before.
Oh, I have. It's part of what I'm going to ask you about coming up.
Yeah. Golly.
What's the weather like down in Arizona today?
It's supposed to be at like 103 or 4, something like that today.
Gross.
Oh, hey,
Blue skies and sunny.
There ain't nothing gross about that.
103?
Let's go.
Oh, I'll be sweating terribly.
No, you
Oh,
wouldn't.
no, you won't.
You know,
Not
it's
there.
dry heat. It's not the humidity that y'all have to encounter this summer.
Boy, Arizona's that place, by the way. If you go out there in the summer or that kind of heat, you don't sweat, but you can be dehydrated within minutes because you don't remember to drink water.
It'll trick you too. You're right, Bill. It'll trick you because you think you're okay because you're not sweating or anything, and next thing you know, you get lightheaded and you're walking around and your knees buckle on you. So you got to be careful with the heat out here, especially the hikers. A lot of hikers, they have to peel off those mountains because they underestimated the heat and thinking they're okay and not bringing enough water, and it gets them every time.
Yeah, before you know it, you look like an unexperienced gentleman or whatever, or person going to the waste management.
You know what? I've been out here since 2013, 12 years, and I still have not attended that.
Well, you got to go. You got to do it.
It looks like it's worse every year with the drunkenness.
Yeah, but they tamed it this year with the
they did. Now, the year before, it was awful, I heard.
Well, that was awful. They had like the rain. Now, the rain made the big deal out there because people were slipping all over the place. All of a sudden, they got dudes in the doing sand angels in the bunkers.
So we're coming back here. We're coming back here.
Sand angels in the bunker.
Welcome back to the Morning Hookup. Happy Hump Day. Happy Henry T Day. That's what we call it. Bring on the Mac, the legend. Henry T. Buchanan. T, what's up, my friend?
What's up, fellas? What's up, Bill? What's up, Elijah? Hey, who's that in the background?
That's Caleb.
Oh, okay. How you doing, Caleb? I haven't met this guy.
Caleb's training up. He hasn't met, so he's been running most of the show today. We've been getting him trained up on the ones and twos and here's, and
he just laying back in the cut, all innocent, not saying anything, and just chilling. I see.
Oh,
you were bringing the Mac on. You got scared. He's like, Elijah, you got to come over and take this one.
No, I don't know.
That's not true. I made that up.
T, we were just talking about how the weather is out there. It's 100 plus out in Arizona coming up. Blue skies. I'm all in for it. But according to what you're wearing, it must be 60 degrees in the office.
Oh, it's awful. You see, I'm rubbing my hand, and somebody, I think D Vic, speaking of D Vic, he wants me to ask you a question. And this is kind of off sports. His niece is getting married in Nebraska.
Okay.
And do you know of any place that would cater the wedding or reception or whatever?
Yeah, let's you and I hook up. We'll get a little.
Hook
up. Got that? You like that? Let's get a little texturing going. I can maybe have some assistance knowing some people here in town and kind of get the level of what he's looking.
Yeah.
Do they like chicken?
Do they like chicken?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, I know Coach Hoiberg does.
Oh, God, yes, they do.
Yeah, you took care of him.
We have a few times. Been very blessed to be able to have him. Not him, his people ring us up.
But he loves it though. He loves he loves that slim chickens, man.
Well, we can take care of him with his conditions. We can get him healthy.
Yeah, absolutely.
T, more you mentioned that baseball game last night.
Oh my goodness.
Cardiac had happened, all that. But I want to ask you, like, when you watch that game unfold, obviously Nebraska had an error in the fourth inning that was a bonehead kind of error.
Yeah,
error that cost us a run, and then you also look at the other side at the play not made in right field. And again, you've played a lot of basketball games, a lot of hoops games. Yeah. Is there a game that sticks out that you go, man, we should never have won that dang game, but somehow we ended up right on the scoreboard, the right side? That's what happened last night. Nebraska had no chance, no business probably winning that game, but got it done.
Oh, that's an easy one. That was Furman, and that was the notorious game that we were there. I think they were Furman's in South Carolina. Where was that? But anyway, we're on the road, and we way better than this team. And you know how the home team is playing well. They're hanging in there, and close game at half, and it was nick and tuck in the second half, and they were down. We were down 3 with just a few seconds to go, and I had the ball, and I think I might have got double team or what have you, but that's the time I passed it to Jeff Reckaway, and he hit a 3-pointer on top of the key to tie it up to get it to overtime, and eventually we won the game. And that's the game that we had to go back. We flew back that night and had to practice.
I remember that story.
Yes, they had to practice, and so that's one of those games that they let us off the hook, and we were able to pull out. And but from a personal standpoint, and I told you this on this show, and then Coach Neat brought it up when we had him on the show, which had nothing to do with what the topic was. The topic was, he said he's never held anyone back. And you remember he said, I didn't say nothing about you missing that layup in Madison Square Garden at the NIT. So that I equivalent, even though that was to win the game, the game over if he catches it. And Bynes was in the first half. I just happened to be on national TV at the Madison Square Gardens and missed a layup. And he didn't take me out, which was surprising.
What was his nickname?
Who's that?
what did he call you when you missed that layup? What was Coach Need's nickname? Was it like JUCO legs? What do you call you?
No. He used to say that because of how I called timeouts. See, I used to give the fist to call timeouts. I would face the referee and I would give the fist for a timeout. And he would get all upset with me, like, what is that? What is that JUCO stuff? Blah, 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 blah. Because hey, I got the timeout, coach. He wanted me to do it.
I always thought that. That's
what I used to do. I should do that for a timeout. I would face the ref, call timeout, but he wanted me to turn around and give the fingers, the old T. And no, bro, I got the timeout, man. I just chill. Yeah, I told you we had a love-hate relationship, Coach Nee and I. But when I won a game for him or helped win a game or something like that, I was his best friend. But if we didn't, it was some tough practices and tough conversations. But hey, Coach Nee did a lot for me, and so I can't complain. I got a college degree and worked for a great company, so I'm good. But that catch, though, go back to that, and I know you play baseball, Bill, and I played first baseman and a pitcher when I was in little leagues, and of course never played after that. But I couldn't hit. But I knew where you're supposed to catch the ball. Mm-hmm. And if you look at that, it hit the palm of his hand instead of in the pocket. And I saw how he missed it, but golly, I just hope the kid can recover. I feel for him. I was talking to a good friend, Jill Grinsman, about that today, and because she plays softball at Nebraska, and because she missed it, and she said, well, how did he miss it? I said, it hit his palm. It looked like it hit his palm, so his gloves wasn't adjusted right, but God, I felt for him, man. Can he recover from that? I mean,
I was wondering if at the last minute, and we talked about this to lead off the show, he took a couple steps in first and then has to retreat back. And I was wondering if with that angle kind of coming in as a liner, I was wondering if at the last minute he lost it in the lights.
That's a great point, Elijah. It was just a drop to me, because I still thought that he was comfortable and he thought that he had it.
That's what's so strange about it, is it looks so routine.
Yeah, it was a routine catch, but I was at a Husker bar with some friends, Clancy's. I was with Bill and Alan, and you met them, Bill.
Yep.
We were all together, and JoJo and her boyfriend, and we were watching that game along with the Indiana Fever and waiting on the NBA game to come on. And of course, my Indiana Fever ended up losing at the end at Atlanta against Atlanta, but golly, I couldn't believe. I felt for the kid, but I was ecstatic for the Huskers. But we got Oregon, the number 1 seed, on Friday, so it doesn't get any easier. And then it's kind of bad because the Husker softball plays Tennessee the same time. Exactly.
You just brought that up.
ESPN2 and Big Ten Network, and I supposed to go to a hotel where Alan, he's the marketing director there. He wants us to come there, get one of those cabanas at the pool, and it's good. Fridays is pretty good at this pool, and it's kind of a good time, if you know what I'm saying. So it's So, but he got to bring 2 TVs out because I got to watch both games. I can't be flipping channels and all that. We got to figure that out, or I'm just going to have to watch it at home.
So it's Henry TV Cannon with us, and T, you briefly mentioned the Western Conference Finals last night. I want to get your thoughts on that, and then I also want to get your thoughts on the Pacers and the Knicks. Game 1's coming tonight.
Well, I don't want to be. I'm going to start with my Pacers, and notice I said my Pacers. I don't want to go with conspiracy theories with the NBA, but I'm a firm believer, and y'all have to prove me wrong on this. Is that they can't control what happened in the West because you got 2 young teams that played a great game last night, and OKC just so SGA he's the MVP. I think he solidified that by beating Denver. Well, I guess it's a regular season award, so I guess these playoffs don't really count. But it's nice to see him making it to the West Conference Finals. But you got to admit, they want New York there with all of that star-studded floor seats, and that's all the cameras do is talk about who's who and who's at the game, and that has nothing to do with basketball, but it's all about ratings, and I think Pacers match up well against New York. We have the size. They run very well. They shoot very well. I'm not taking anything away from Brunson and his team and Cat, but Turner's going to be able to stay with Cat, where Al Horford at 38, 39 really didn't have the mobility to stay up with Cat on the perimeter, or when he was posting up, or the size to stop him from scoring on the block. But the Pacers do have that, and I think the interesting matchup is going to be Brunson and Halliburton. And I think whoever wins that matchup is going to win the series. If Brunson plays Brunson type basketball, they're going to be a tough out. But if they let Halliburton run wild, I think it's going to be a long night for New York, long series. But I think it's going to go seven games. I think both series have a really good chance of going 7 games. Just personally, and it's nice to see some young people in there. All 4 of these teams are very young, and you really don't have any. You don't have your LeBrons, you don't have Steph in there. You don't have Giannis. I mean, just think about that. Embiid, you don't have any of these veterans that's been playing for a while that people are used to seeing. Just not there no more. So the NBA, which I've always been again. I always thought that this one and done is ruining the NBA, but for some reason, I don't watch the NBA during regular season hardly, because it just with the load management and all that crap that they got going on, you don't get to see the superstars play anyway. But this playoffs has been the best basketball I've seen in years. On both Eastern and Western Conference, and the referees are calling the games the correct way, letting these guys play, and it's been pretty exciting to watch. But I think the physicality that New York may bring, I think Indiana can match it, and I do believe Edwards is going to turn it up in Game 2 against OKC. But OKC is solid. But I don't know about y'all. This has been a really good, exciting Eastern and Western Conference. We haven't seen Eastern Conference Finals yet, and we'll see that tonight. But I think it's great basketball. And with WNBA starting, you got Caitlin Clark doing her thing with Indiana Fever. They're going to be the team to watch this year. And I'm not saying that because I'm from Indiana, but I'm saying it because I'm a fan of Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. So so the summers are not going to be, because I don't watch baseball. I'm sorry about that, Bill, until World Series.
Okay. That's okay. T, I want to ask you, because we mentioned this series coming up, Pacers Knicks. I feel like this is an age thing, probably. You and I are, closer, but the young guys are experiencing playoff basketball like we experienced regular season basketball.
Yes.
Because I know you got fond memories like I do of watching a series like this. Go back to 94, 95. Reggie Miller, 8 points in 9 seconds. Or is it, 8 and 9 seconds.
Yes.
Spike Lee. Now that's what I want in this series, because whatever we're thinking about in this series, but talk about those memories for you because you grew up and watching that. But the NBA I feel like with the Knicks, it's like Nebraska football when they're better, when they're good.
Yeah.
College football is better. When you're playing something in the Garden in the playoffs, it makes this so much better.
Well, I was just, I'm glad you said it because I was watching the 30 for 30, and that specifically was about the relationship Reggie Miller had with the New York Knicks fans, and they specifically talked about that game. And when they were interviewing all these basketball experts and the media, it's funny because the Indiana's been known as the basketball capital of the world. They talk about Damon Bailey and all that. It was interesting they brought up Damon Bailey, and that's who you remember. Coach Hoiberg took his roster spot for the Pacers when he was drafted there, and the fans hated him because of that. It wasn't his fault. You should be the front office, and then New York is the mecca of basketball at Madison Square Garden. I was watching the game that Willis Reed come limping back,
man.
after he got hurt, and Wilt Chamberlain was winning the shot when Willis Reed hit those 2 or 3 shots in a row, and Walt Frazier dominated after that. But I just think, and I said it earlier, and let me quit calling it a conspiracy because I'll be looking at who's who too. So I'm not, it's not like I'm ignoring Spike Lee and all the other stars. That's, Rick Pitino was there last game. You got all these, star-studded rosters of New York Knicks fans, and it's kind of fun to see. But I just think that's the series we're going to get. And I'm glad you say when you talk about regular seasons, and I don't think the younger generation understands that we had the privilege to watch people like Michael Jordan, Magic and Bird and Barkleys of the world, all these guys, Stockton and, the best players in the NBA, they played all 82 games. And every regular season game was like a playoff game. They reffed it like a playoff game. It was physical. And these guys played like they hated losing. If you ever hear Magic Johnson interviews and Magic, and Bird, all these guys, MJ, Bart, they hated losing. So every game they brought it. It was no nights off. So we had the privilege of watching these guys for 82 games play hard. And not this load management of going through the motions of waiting to the fourth quarter to play. I heard Carmelo Anthony interview, and he said one of the advice that Jordan gave him about scoring that stuck in his mind. He said, think about scoring per quarter. If you score at least 7 points per quarter, you're going to average 28. Instead of trying to get it all in one whoop, just take your time, let the game come to you. 4 quarters of 7 points is 28 points. Averaging 28 points in the NBA, you are a superstar. Just think about that in terms of that. And that's what we watched back then. Showtime Lakers, and if y'all listen to Larry Bird's, other superstars like Dominic and Gary Payton and all these guys talk about Bird, for instance, when they talk about not only his talking, but how great he was and calling game winners and what he's going to do to you and being upset when a white guy guarded him. That was disrespectful to him. Think about that. And that's the basketball that we grew up watching. And then now you talk about the flopping and load management, people sitting out. These fans are paying thousands of dollars to watch these superstars, and then you watch them on the bench, sit back needing rest. It's hard for me to comprehend it now, and that's why I don't watch NBA like I used to. But the playoffs has been entertaining.
Over on the other side, OKC and Minnesota. Any thoughts on that series? Is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander a foul merchant in your eyes? Is that why he's playing the game? I need to get your thoughts on that.
The foul merchant. I just think he's just freaking good, man. I mean, this guy, he doesn't rush a shot. He's smooth. I mean, he gets any shots he wants, and he's not even fast. I mean, well, maybe he's faster than it looks on TV. I don't know because I'm not gardening. But he gets to where he wants to go. He scores on all three levels, and he's just a special player. And his teammates really feed off of him. And it's the same thing with Ant Edwards. He's a monster. I mean, Ant Edwards, I just think he just needed to get one game. Think about this. People don't realize you want to eliminate teams like they had a gentleman's sweep 4-1. Okay, now you got to sit and wait. And this is the playoffs. The last thing you want to do is sit and wait. You don't even wait like that in NBA season. You're playing there almost every other day. You don't get 3 and 4 days off in NBA. So now they get these 3 to 4 games off where OKC went 7 games. So they're fresh. And then they only have a day off and they're coming back and they're fresh. They're ready. I think that's what that game was about last night. And I think Minnesota is going to get the cobwebs out, and you're going to see a different game too. I still think that series is wide open, but I love the matchup with Anthony Edwards and SGA, and I think we're going to see some more fireworks there, and just like you're going to see with Brunson and Halliburton. And you think about it, guards still dominate sports, man, in NBA and college. If you don't have good guard play, you're not going to win. Just the bottom line, and those are 4 of the best guards in the NBA or in the world, because NBA is the best basketball players in the world. So we're looking at 4 of the best guards, and it's going to be interesting in how the support role players on each team plays each game. And my toes is tapping now for the game tonight. I can't wait. I'm gonna leave work early because the game starts, I think, at 4 here. So I got to get my butt home and kick my feet up and watch my Pacers. But this is way basketball should be. And I wish they played like this during the regular season. But the days air, they don't do it like they did back in the 80s and 90s. In the early 2000s, I think even with Kobe and his mentality and Shaq and them, they were playing like this. Every game meant something. And nowadays, they just don't do it. They rather kick their feet off and look pretty on the bench, I guess.
Again, when speaking to Husker legend Henry T. Buchanan, I do want to ask you a little about Husker hoops. Obviously, the roster is finalized. Starting to look ahead for the following year. But this is something that's really sparked me a little bit, and we've asked Rob Washington and some other guys about it. Now, obviously, they brought in a bunch of dudes, new dudes, transfer portal. I got one freshman coming in, Quentin Rhymes. And this is more about depth. It's a depth question because you had some guys over the last couple of years, like Sam Hoiberg, Kel Jacobson, who have really established himself as, you mentioned, role player.
Yes.
When you're looking at that going forward in this coming year, how much depth is too much depth on a basketball team, and how those guys, because obviously each year you try to get players in and you recruit over your current team to get better, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the goal, to get better in the future. What's too much depth? Because I think that could be a problem at times with a lot of, not just Nebraska, but college basketball in general. Say, I got 11 guys. Well, if you got 11 guys, you probably have 4.
That's a great question. And I would say this. You can't have enough depth in any sport. When you got players that are interchangeable, especially during games, crunch time, you're going to have injuries, you're going to have foul trouble. Remember, I've always talked about next man up. But if you don't got that next man up, you're in trouble. Now, the key to this is really getting buy-in from all the players. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that is the players, because you're going to have your starters and you're going to have your 6, 7, 8 guy off the bench. And that's where practice come into play. You got to earn those positions, that playing time, whether you're a starter or you're your first person off the bench. So that goes the key. And it goes to my responding to, was it Elijah? I think you asked me last week. I think you might ask me this last week, is what I look at when I go to practice and watch games. Because I said I'm looking at the game in a different lens than the average fan. And when I go to practice, I'm looking at practice with a different lens. I'm not just looking at shooting and defense. I'm looking at behaviors. I'm looking at guys who's not paying attention, who's paying attention, who's diving for the ball, who's running sprints, who's finishing first every time in sprints. So I'm looking at the little things. And with a team with a lot of depth, you're looking at the players who's the epitome of who's wanting it more than the next person. So that's what the coaches are doing. They're looking at the same things that I'm looking at in players. And the cream always rises to the top who wants it more. But when you got that much depth, so especially with this new transfer portal and the NIL, regardless of the money that you're paying these guys, regardless, you still got to earn it on the court. Regardless, because you're getting this paycheck, and that's what Michael Jordan. I know I've said that several times on this show. Is that, and he's even stated it, that we're paying these kids based on potential, and where in our era and their era, you had to earn paychecks. Now they're getting it. So where's the incentive when you're paying somebody $1 million? For instance, Carl Hayes just called me the other day. There's a kid coming out next year, ranked 31st in the country out of Houston. I can play 1, 2, and 3. Outstanding player. And he reached out to me with a connection of a guy that's real good, real tight with the father, and asking me, would Nebraska be interested? Well, heck yeah, they're going to be interested, but can we afford him? And can he fit our system and things like that? Because you got to look at so many things, and that's even looking further to 2026. So you got to look ahead, and the money's going to get more and more and more. But when you go back to the depth, we got to be careful. These universities got to be careful with this NIL and setting these expectations. And one thing, Coach, and I've talked to Coach Hoiberg, behind closed door, that regardless of what they're paying these players, you still got to earn it. Nothing's still promised. And with the depth that we have, those kids that are playing for the University of Nebraska Cornhuskers know that they still got to, regardless of the size of that paycheck, they still got to earn time on that court. And it's going to be interesting with the depth that we have this year, who's going to rise to the top and who's going to play, because it's all about winning. It's not about, you got the biggest check, so you get to start and things that sort. So it's what you do on the court. And that's what this coaching staff was all about. And I'm pretty excited with the team we have. But I'm going to watch them again before I comment until I see these guys play with my own eyes. And we got Oklahoma coming up at Sioux Falls this year. It looks like we had St. Mary's. Now it's Oklahoma. They got rid of Sears. They got him ranked top 5 picks, so something like that. So they don't have their point guard. So it'd be interesting to see old Sooners, the old Big 8 days. And in my day, the team that we couldn't beat, they ain't gonna make Mookie Blaylock. So.
And quickly, just to put a bow on this, if you want to look at the importance of depth, which is kind of the heart of this conversation here, why Nebraska needs 9-10 guys, just look at Rutgers last year. Yep. They have 2 of the 5 best players in the Big Ten. 2 guys are going to be top 5 picks. And 2
and 3, buddy.
Yeah, realistically, yeah, we'll see, but more than likely, yes.
Yeah.
What did they do in the Big Ten last year? They made the tournament, but that's about it. I mean, barely a 500 team.
Yeah, because Ace, I think, played most of the season, but Harper, golly, Dylan, man, every time he went down, if they could have stayed healthy. And, I don't know what y'all think, and I think I know I talk amongst D. Vic and Shoecraft and a few of my other former Huskers, is that what is going on, and this is before you, and I know, Bill, you can probably relate. We played with the worst shoes ever. I mean, canvas basketball shoes, Chuck Taylors, Pro Keds, we even called them Buddy L's from Kmart. And we played on the concrete. And I don't remember people getting ACLs and Achilles tears or what have you. Is something wrong with these shoes? These $500-$600 shoes where you tearing up your body, your limbs. I'm trying to figure this out, because these kids are paying thousands and thousands of dollars for these shoes, And at any moment when Jason Tatum went down and when Damian Lillard went down, I'm watching the game. I'm like, what just happened? And if I could have played in the shoes that I played in with no arch support, almost playing barefoot and played hours upon hours out in the concrete or even in the gym with no injuries, I'm more concerned about that. I know I'm off topic there, but I just wanted to throw that out and get y'all thoughts on it. I know we're getting close to time, but what's your thoughts on these shoes, Bill?
It's an interesting build of shoe. I think they're expensive. Number one. Two, I think a lot of my concern for some of it is, first of all, nobody's a legend like you. So I know that that's the shoe that was not made. You made the shoe. But they're so custom to the athlete. And I wonder if there's flaws in the custom design based on, is it a pretty shoe or is it an effective shoe?
There's the $1 million question.
Tatum's got a shoe. Dame's got a shoe. They all got shoes, right?
And I think it's probably multifaceted. I look at that. I also look at the stats would tell you from the NBA, guys are covering more distance per minute in the NBA than they ever have in NBA history before. So, you're putting a little more wear on the body for every minute that a guy plays just because of how up and down the nature of basketball has gotten with the fast break points. Look at OKC, how much distance those guys travel when they're on the floor. There's that. You also have a bit of the LeBron influence where now all these guys are, they're super powerful athletes. Not to say you guys weren't back in the day, but there's a lot more concerted effort to getting guys bigger, faster, stronger. So it's multifaceted. I think the shoes have to be evaluated, though, just because of the way it's really since the bubble, since COVID, about past 5 years, it really feels like we've been seeing tons of lower body injuries, significant ones.
You're getting in that world of it's the custom shoe. Are you trying to sell shoes? Or are you going to wear them for effectiveness? Yeah. There's a lot of that part that you're trying to sell shoes.
Exactly. And I hear you both, and I agree wholeheartedly. I honestly believe, and I get what you're saying, Elijah, that they don't play no more basketball than what we did back in the day, except we played in any and everywhere. We didn't have training, things like we went to parks or city to city to play against different people and match up. But we played hours upon hours, up and down, wherever they had games. And I even did that in college. I tell the story, off season that I played at any place in Lincoln, Nebraska that they played basketball, whether it's in the park or a facility, whether it's Air Park, Southeast, Northeast, Lincoln High, wherever they're playing pickup balls, South Street, East Campus, if they were playing basketball, we found it, and we just played year round, and that's how we fine-tuned our game, because playing against different people, yes, you worked on different aspects of your game, but we were playing hours upon hours, and that's where I was going with my question, is that as much as we played now, and I agree, they got these these personal trainers, steroids. No, I'm not going to go there with steroids. but they got these trainers, and their bodies are built up, and they're physical, but they don't even play a physical game like they did back in the 80s and 90s and 70s. So you look good, but heck, you're not pushing and shoving the elbow. And they do a little bit in the playoffs now, but not during the season. It's like playing flag football in the regular season for basketball. So that's just my take on that. But I love what we have, and in this, I can't wait to Friday. I'm pretty excited. There's nothing better than seeing Huskers, and this is super regionals, isn't it, for the Huskers softball?
Yep.
And can you say enough about Jordy Ball?
No.
yeah. And
we've talked about her quite a bit in the last couple of days.
Oh yes, outstanding. And then of course the baseball team with Will Bolton, what he's doing and surviving that game, and it's going to be interesting playing against the number one team. And for some reason, because didn't we win the big tournament, Big Ten last year?
Last year.
Yeah. So you never know what's going to happen there, and kudos, and matter of fact, kudos to everybody that graduated, because one of the kids on from the Nebraska that graduated, basketball players, and golly, I didn't write his name down. He didn't play a lot, but he played a lot in practice and made our starters better. Moving out here to Arizona, and then And so I'm looking forward to helping this kid out. And he got his degree and looking for some gainfully employment. So that's what Nebraska alumni do. We look after each other, and that's what's so special about the University of Nebraska, that guys will reach out to you for some assistance, and some of the people that you never think about reach out to you. Can you help this guy out? And it doesn't cost you a thing, man. It just pulling back, reaching back, and pulling somebody to where you're at, and that's what we do in the Husker Nation, man. And I'm glad y'all are fans, and I know you're a converted fan, Bill, because I know you still bleed blue.
Just in one sport.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, I'll give you that. But I know you're a Husker through and through, brother. And Elijah, I know you're a young man, but I love the way you go about your business and what your thought pattern and what you think about sports and stuff, because you're on top of it.
Thank you.
But our era was better than this day's era. I'm just gonna say.
I got him. Well, T, man, we appreciate you so much, my friend. It's always a pleasure, man. Take care. So stay cool out there, man. All right.
No. Hey, wait a minute. Hey. 3 days of golf last weekend, and we took out Joe P. And I forgot he was going to call in today, but he's on a golf deal. But we took it. We tied overall, but I took him out 1-on-1.
All I got to do is this. I'm just going to do this.
Oh, well, hey, we still got the match coming.
I know. That's just come on.
Oh, well, you don't want none of this.
Come on.
I'm a little bit better than the last time.
I'm ready. We'll get it figured out. So,
all right, fellas.
All right, brother. Appreciate you. Take care of yourself. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me, man. Great talking to you guys. Y'all take care.
Thanks, T.
Yeah.
Husker legend Henry T. Buchanan. Great stuff with him. Keep it here. We're going to break. What do you want to do?
Yeah, quick break.
Quick break. We'll be right back.
We only have like a minute and change.
We got a quick one. We can hit a couple quick guys.
I'll make us 30 seconds here. And yeah, that's all we got. So 1 minute and 40 seconds.
Perfect. We got one. Got two things. Perfect.
Well, it's tush push did not get banned.
I know.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about that.
That real quick.
Did you see? I love the Eagles. Did you see the Eagles' Twitter or their official reaction?
No.
Go. Adam Schefter just tweeted it out. It's pretty awesome. Go take a peek. See it? Pretty awesome. Like, look at that. Push on. That is pretty impressive.
Hey, if they can do it, more power to you.
It looks like it was close, though, by the way, on the vote. They needed 24.
That's thematic. Sometimes my own creativity shocks and surprises me.
I love it. Look for the fact that I can't hear anything when you're doing stuff. I like this surprise.
I just realized you asked for you get a request in here.
I did. I threw a request in real quick just because of yesterday's. It's kind of a sports themed type, right?
Oh, I have a thematic one for the tush push.
Okay.
Is that okay?
That's fine.
Is that okay?
Yes. Good. But here's what I'll do. Watch this.
I do love the song you sent in, though.
Oh, we'll get that one, and I'll set this one up too.
Greg chimes in here.
I still want to see you on the golf course, but I know I'm trying to figure it out.
All right, we're coming back in about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Lean on me when you're not strong.
back in the morning hookup. Special thanks to Henry T. Buchanan, Husker legend, hanging out with us. That is such a good song, first of all. Somebody to me.
And Hooksy, we just learned the Eagles will continue being able to lean on defenses with the tush push.
That's right. 22-10, by the way, the vote. They needed 24. They got 22.
So 22 teams didn't want it.
No, 22 wanted it. Banned.
Oh, so one. That's what I'm saying.
10. They needed 24. Oh, no, sorry. That's against.
So 20.
They needed 22, did not want. They were done with it. They needed 24. 10 teams said, keep it.
We know the Eagles are one of them.
Oh, me brother. So the tush push will live on. That's such a good song.
Yeah. Anything else before we get out here? We only got
listen to this.
40 seconds.
Well, is that not just a good theme song? News yesterday that George Wentz passed away. Might not know the name as that name, but it's Norm.
Yep.
From Cheers.
Everyone knows Norm.
Also in some great The Bears skits, SNL. Rest in peace. I'll watch it. If you get to go to Boston, you can go to Cheers. It's pretty cool.
The bar?
You've seen that? The bar. Yes.
Oh,
and they got the movie set still there. It's really cool.
Huh.
So rest in peace. Tomorrow, Thursday, Salt Dogs manager Brett Jody in the house. Can't wait to talk to him and a whole lot more. You guys have a great hump day. We'll catch you on a Thursday.